صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين وحجة رب العالمين، المنتجب في الميثاق، المصطفى في الضلال، المطهر من كل آفة، البرية من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة، المرتجى للشفاعة، المفوض إليه دين الله. قال الإمام جعفر بن محمد الصادق عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام: إن شفاعتنا لا تنال مستخفا بالصلاة. My condolences on the passing, on the martyrdom of Imam Jafar ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi afdal salati was-salam. This very Imam that was martyred on the 25th of Shawwal 148 after Hijrah. Imam Jafar ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi afdal salati was-salam, looking at his biography first thing first, that you find him being the sixth Imam of the Shia, the son of Imam al-Baqir and the son of Farwa. Farwa, she's the daughter of Qasim, son of Qasim, the son of Muhammad, the son of Abu Bakr, the first caliph. As you know, Abu Bakr had a son by the name of Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, that this companion of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi afdal salati was-salam was one of the followers of Imam Ali, and he was martyred in the city of, as some narrate, Cairo in Egypt, by the orders of Muawiyah and his advisor Amr ibn As. Even though he was the son of Abu Bakr, he was the follower of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. And Amir al-Mu'mineen talked about this very gentleman, this man, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, and he said, Muhammad is the son of Abu Bakr, but he is my follower and he's the fruit of my eyes. When a person mentions something like that, especially Amir al-Mu'mineen, here the Imam is saying that fruit of my eyes, meaning that he's very close, very dear to my heart. He had a son by the name of Qasim ibn Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, and Qasim ibn Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr had a daughter by the name of Farwa. She was known as Farwa, that she's buried in Baqi' al-Gharqad, the mother of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi afdal salati was-salam. She's the mother of Imam al-Sadiq. So you can see that Imam al-Sadiq halfway, he's the grandson of Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. And of course Abu Bakr himself. That shows you many things. One of that is this, that if the grandfather is someone that you don't agree with, and you have, your own disputes, or you have a lot of arguments with, and of course the lineage of Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr is the father and the grandfather of Imam Al-Sadiq, our sixth Imam, even though that Abu Bakr himself was the enemy of Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salati was-salam, here shows that Ahlul Bayt looked at the person himself, not who the father is, who the mother is. And you find this when it comes to Imam Alsadiq, that his mother, she's the granddaughter of Abu Bakr. And he's our sixth Imam. And we are known as Ja'faris. We are known as the Shia of Jafar ibn Muhammad Alsadiq. Looking at the life of Imam Alsadiq, you find that Imam al-Baqir and Imam Alsadiq, they lived in the time of the Abbasides. It was the beginning era of the Abbasides. The Umayyad dynasty, the Umayyad caliphs, they were annihilated up to the time of the Abbasides. The Abbasides came into power. And when the Abbasides came into power, you see this civil war coming to the end, and the Abbasides, Bani Abbas, they have taken all the commands, rulings in their hands. Some of the historians, they mention that Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq had it easier than other Imams, because the focus of the kings, the caliphs, wasn't on them. It was more on the Umayyads, and of course the Umayyads on the Abbasides. There was a civil war between these two tribes. So the Hashemites were not that much under the microscope. No one was looking at the Hashemites as what they're doing, what the conduct is. That is one of the cases that many mention that gave Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq more freedom. He gave them more freedom to broadcast, to spread out the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt, the knowledge of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. That's why if you look in the books of Ahadith today, you find in Bahar al-Anwar, in Usul al-Kafi, and any other books, you find that, what does it say? It says mostly قال الباقر and قال الصادق and so on and so forth. That's one part of it. And the other part is the Imam himself, Imam al-Sadiq and of course Imam al-Baqir, both the father and the son, they opened their university, if you want to call it, their own schools in Medina al-Munawwara. That is why you see that the Imams of the other madhahib, Imams of the other madhahib, for example, Abu Hanifa and the Shafi'i and the Hanbali and the Hanafis, they are all the students of Imam Al-Sadiq. And that brings this question that what would you go to the student when you have the teacher? And that's Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam. You have Imam Al-Sadiq in front of you. What would you go to the student when you have the teacher there, and the hadith of the teacher is all there, and you yourself, you admit to the knowledge of Imam Al-Sadiq? The Imam Al-Sadiq alayhi salam is the compiler and the founder of algebra, the founder of chemistry, and of course when it comes to math. And the Islamic golden age altogether was because of Imam al-Sadiq and Imam al-Baqir. Even though if you look into the history books today, they mention Harun al-Rashid, Harun al-Abbasi, and they say that the golden age of Islam was in the time of this individual. The golden age of Islam was in the time of Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq, the golden age of Islam. And Imam al-Baqir here teaches his students chemistry, ilm al-kimia. Imam al-Baqir alayhi afdalus salati wassalam and Imam al-Sadiq, they continue with teaching biology, math, and we're talking about 1,000 odd years ago, more than 1,000 years ago, in a time that the Arabs, they had no knowledge of such things, but Ahl al-Bayt brought in this vast knowledge into the Ummah. That Imam al-Baqir, many of his debates was with the leaders, the zu'ama of other religions, to show them that Islam has the keys of all of the gates of knowledge. And that was it. Imam al-Sadiq in some hadith says he had 4,000 students, and each and every one of them says this, that I heard from my teacher Alsadiq, Jafar ibn Muhammad Alsadiq, saying such and such, teaching me such and such. So that's one point of it, that he's the teacher of all of the Imams of the other madhahib. So when it comes to the Shafi'is and the Malikis, they are all the students of Imam Al-Sadiq. And it's better to go straight to the teacher, and leave the student aside. You don't need the student when the teacher is right there. That's one part of what we find when it comes to Imam Al-Sadiq. And he's known for, of course, his knowledge and spreading the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt, alayhim afdalus salati wassalam. Then it comes to his wasiyyah and his ahadith in regards to salat. And you find that when it comes to the end of someone's life, they mention the most important thing that they are keening for that person to follow up. And that's what Imam Al-Sadiq says on his deathbed. On his deathbed, Imam Al-Sadiq mentions this: إن شفاعتنا لا تنال مستخفا بالصلاة. We have mustakhif bis-salat, and then of course we have tariq as-salat. Mustakhif bis-salat is the one who takes salat lightly. And if you look into the books of ahadith, in the books of supplication, for example, there is a book by the name of Muntakhab al-Hasani. Muntakhab al-Hasani is a book of supplication, ad'iyah, munajat. One part of Muntakhab al-Hasani mentions the side effects, the consequences of those who take salah lightly and those who don't even pray, and those are tarikin as-salah, nastajiru billah. And they mention that what mustakhif is and what tariq as-salah is. Now when it comes to mustakhif bis-salat, in some of the hadith, it says that the person who hears the adhan and he is not prepared, sitting down on his sajjadah, ready for salat, that's mustakhif bis-salat, who takes salat lightly. Another hadith says that the person that misses out the time of the faridah, because you know salat has the faridah, has that time that it's allocated, that it's best for you to pray at that time when it's fresh, for you to get up and pray, not to delay it. You don't delay it until the last moment. The ones who delay salat to the last moment, they are mustakhifin bis-salat. Or one day he prays salat, you find him praying salat, he's sitting down on his sajjadah, he's ready for prayer. The next day, this individual misses his salat and he prays his salat very late, and so on and so forth. And it talks about some of the consequences, this hadith, of those who take salat lightly. One of the consequences of that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the barakah out of his life. And barakah is very important because we have the rizq and of course we have the barakah. Barakah is what multiplies the rizq, and the rizq, you can do so much with that rizq. One of the consequences of that person who takes salat lightly is this, that Allah takes out the barakah of his life. Now when it comes to tariq as-salat is a person who doesn't pray at all. Doesn't matter what time, doesn't matter when, he doesn't pray. And there are many now today, if you talk to them, they say they are Muslims, they say that I'm Muslim, I believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I believe that Rasulullah is my prophet, and so on and so forth. But salat, I don't want to pray salat. I don't want to. It's my choice, and I'm not a person who believes in salat. That what should I get up in the morning and pray 2 rak'at, and then I pray arba'a for salat al-dhuhr and asr and maghrib and isha 3 and 4. Why would I do that? If you look at the ayat of the Quran al-Kareem, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ, whoever prays, whoever recites Quran, whoever supplicates, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps his heart, what? Keeps his heart very sound. And today, if you look at what's happening in today's society, many of the youngsters, they talk about, and this is an ongoing problem, they talk about anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. Is because of that connection that they don't have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they have more connection with their phone and with social media, talking with people that they don't exist in front of them, unfortunately, and there is no connection whatsoever with Allah, the Almighty. So that's why Imam Alsadiq says on his deathbed that my shafa'ah, our shafa'ah of Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalu salati wassalam, doesn't reach those people that take salat lightly. Mustakhiffan bis salat. And that is the intercession. That intercession doesn't reach those people. Because if you look at it, they asked the Imam this question. They said, what do you mean that the shafa'ah doesn't reach them? The Imam said many ways this happened. One of it is that they don't see us for them to ask the shafa'ah. They don't even see us to ask the shafa'ah. And if you look at it, 1 billion, 2 billion, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 billion, God knows the number of the people that come all back to life on the day of judgment. They are resurrected and everyone is looking at the other person. Now, where do you find Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalu salati wassalam in this vast population of people? And everyone is running, looking for themselves, wa nafsah, they're looking for a way out of inferno. Now you're looking for the Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rada, or Imam al-Hussein, or Imam al-Sajjad, or here Imam al-Sadiq. You don't find the Imams if that person takes salat lightly. If you look at it in another hadith, when Imam al-Rada says that, look, if you come to my visitation, I come to you in 3 mawaqif, in 3 places. One of those places is when they throw out the books of a'mal, your amal, your deed. Now you look into piles and piles of books. Where is my book? Because everyone has their kitab. That kitab that starts with from the day you're born until the day you close your eyes and you breathe your last breath. Now who can find a book in that piles and piles of books, billion upon billions that are looking for a book of their a'mal? Here it comes to this, the Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rada says, I bring out your book and I hand in that book to you. That's why a person has to really look at his salat. As-salatu amudud din. Salat is the amud of the religion. Amud meaning the pillar of the religion. The pillar, every building stands with the pillar. If there is no pillar, the building collapses. And salat is the pillar of this religion. Salat, that a person takes in. And in another hadith says that the salah itself supplicates and prays to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rabb, this person has taken me lightly, or this person has forsaken me, neglected me. Teach him a lesson. Make him lose his path like he lost me. And this is an unfortunate thing. You see a lot of people today, especially the young man and woman, that they say, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm lost. If you talk to that young individual, do you pray a salah? No. Do you even sit down a minute or two to recite something with Quran or ahadith or supplication? No. And that's unfortunate. With that person, that same person comes and says, why there is no rizq, why there is no barakah, why there is no wife, why there is no children, why there is no car, why there is no house, why I'm lost in life. Every day I wake up very early in the morning and I go to bed very late. I'm working all day, all week, all month, all year, but I'm lost. I can't reach what I'm looking for, and what I'm looking for is some comfort to make my life a better life, but I can't find it. It's because of the dua of the salat. And this is a hadith, that the salah itself does the dua. And in the other direction you find, on the other hand, salah, when he sees this individual takes salat seriously and he prays it all on time, it says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, put rizq in his life, put barakah in his life. Let him reach whatever he wants, whatever he desires, quickly. And that individual doesn't do that much. You don't find him to work that much like the other person, but just by lifting his finger here or there, Allah throws down many of this rizq in front of him. I recite this hadith from Imam Alsadiq and I conclude, Man u'tiya arba'an lam yuhram arba'an. Number one, Man u'tiya du'a lam yuhram al-ijaba. This is a beautiful hadith from Imam Alsadiq alayhi afdhalu salati wassalam. Talking about Imam Alsadiq is not enough for one lecture or two or one book or two. There is an author who wrote down 40 volumes about Imam Jafar ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq, and that still wasn't enough to go into detail of what Imam al-Sadiq salamullah alayhi legacy is. There is a author by the name of Sheikh Baqir Sharif al-Qurashi. Sheikh Baqir Sharif al-Qurashi from Najaf al-Ashraf. He spent 50 years of his life writing a book, Mawsu'at Ahlul Bayt. You can download it today, the English version and the Arabic version, PDF versions. You can download them online and you can read through them. Very nicely written. One of these volumes is about Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq, that if a person sits here or there, 1 hour of his day, he spends it reciting this book, you find a lot of knowledge from Imam. One of the ahadith that is narrated by the Imam is this one, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you dua, and for dua there is the ijabah. That's one, that you are given the dua. For you to raise your hand, there is the ijabah for the dua. What does the ijabah mean? The approval for the dua. That's one. And the other one is, Man u'tiya al-istighfar lam yuhram at-tawbah. Allah has given you istighfar. He has given you the key. The key is there. And the door might be locked. With that key you can open that lock. And that is the istighfar. You say the istighfar and you gain the tawbah. And then the Imam says, and Allah has given you the shukr. Allah has given you shukr. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you the ziyadah. For Allah to give you the ziyadah. And the last one is, and Allah has given you sabr, patience, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you the reward of this patience. And the reward of this patient is what? Ajr. Allah gives you a reward for this patient. The calamity, the bigger it is, the more reward Allah gives you if you have patience when it comes to these calamities. جعل الله وإياكم من المصلين ورزقنا الله وإياكم في الدنيا زيارة الإمام جعفر بن محمد الصادق عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام وشفاعته في الآخرة ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.